from the TNT, and that's Rick Derringer.
Oh, not Derringer.
See, this was before. You English always get it wrong, especially in the world of rock and roll. Exactly. In any event, our next guest has a little something to do with rock and roll in sort of an unusual way, and has a whole lot to do with the world of professional wrestling. Would you please welcome Nikolai Volkoff and his manager, Freddie Blassie. Seats. Yes, a nice-looking, sort of a nice-looking outfit. It's different, I think, is the word for that.
You'd like to have one?
No, the tie actually, but the tie doesn't seem to go with the rest of that. Can we take a look at Nikolai Volkoff's attire? How would you describe that attire, Mr. Blassie?
Looks like he stepped right out of Esquire.
Stepped out of Esquire?
That's right.
The Russian counterpart of Esquire, perhaps. But you are always in your sartorial splendor.
Well, after all, I have a great designer.
Oh?
That's right. Japanese designer.
A Japanese designer?
Yes. Comes a la Miyaka.
A la Miyaka?
That's right.
I don't believe I've heard of that one, but then again, I would expect
it's my own. What are you laughing about over there, you pencil neck geek? You must have all your relatives out here. I heard a big hand you got. A lot of applause.
They're applauding for Alfred, I think. Right now, I don't think they'll be applauding for Nikolai Volkoff. We're going to join Mr. Volkoff in some videotape footage of what he does best, not sing the national anthem.
Just is scheduled for one fall. In the ring at this time, allow me to introduce the manager, the Hollywood fashion plate, Freddie Blassie. And also the Iron Sheik. This is a one-fall contest. In the ring to my left, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, quick draw, Rick McGraw. And his opponent from the Soviet Union at 313 pounds, Nikolai Volkoff.
That is one tough Russian, I'll tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Blassie, Mr. Volkoff request that you all rise and respect Nikolai Volkoff's singing of the Soviet national anthem.
Again. Comments from Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik. And quick draw Rick McGraw giving away a great deal of size away to Nikolai Volkoff. But what he lacks in size, he makes up in all-around agility and certainly speed. Locking up now, you see somewhat the disparity in size of these two. Ooh. Volkoff moving in with a knee and just hammered. This is vintage Volkoff, Bruno.
Yes, it is. We know McGraw has tremendous speed, but you have to wonder, when you take a man 300-some-odd pounds, how effective will that speed be? How much will it have in compact? Look at this Volkoff. He's such a vicious man. He knows how to use that weight. When he throws a kick, he knows how to put all 300 pounds behind it. And as we see McGraw, he's feeling it. Look at that.
Oh,
how's that for agility? Did a cartwheel. Little showing off here.
Volkoff using the rope to his advantage, and Freddie Blassie encouraging him in every way possible.
That's what McGraw needs. He's got a 300-some-odd pound giant in that ring, and he's got to look at the Iron Sheik and Fred Blassie outside the ring. Something.
McGraw now, whipped to the ropes. Volkoff waiting, missing with a roundhouse right. drop kick nails him on the shoulder. Quick draw, right back up, another drop kick nails him on the shoulder again. Right hand, and another one, a series of rights and lefts now. Off the rope, shoulder block, and I'm surprised he knocked the big man down.
Wow, that was a surprise. He really got him off balance, and
Volkoff literally catching him in midair. Ooh.
You have to wonder if he didn't set McGraw up with that tackle.
Gave him a little too much confidence, yes. Without a doubt, Bruno, that's exactly what happened. He set him up, and look at that. Fredo, we've got a 1, 2, and too much man for quick draw Rick McGraw.
All right, it perhaps was a little bit too much man for a quick draw. You have a big smile on your face, Nikolai.
I always smile every time I wrestle in America because I win all the time.
Because you win all the time?
Yes.
I don't think that's really the case, is it, Mr. Blassie? No one wins all the
The
time.
man only speaks the truth. You know, I listen to those pencil neck geeks out there booing the Russian national anthem. Well, those are the same pencil neck geeks that would laugh at a paraplegic. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't believe so, Mr. Blassie.
I do so.
No, I don't think so. No, I think...
Hey, just look at it now, listen to him.
I don't hear anything, Mr. Volkoff.
That's your relative. Shut up, you pencil neck geek. You don't know what you're talking about.
Look at those guys out there.
There's your relatives again.
See that?
Well, in any event, we heard Mr. Volkoff, as we do so many times, sing the Russian national anthem. I understand that Mr. Volkoff is participating in the wrestling album, and he's actually singing a tune, or attempting to sing a tune, entitled, is it Cara Mia? Is that the...
That's it.
That's right. It's the best song on the whole album.
That's the best song on the whole album?
That's right.
Are you aware, Mr. Volkoff, that the last rendition prior to yours that I recall that was popular here in the United States was done by an organization known as Jay and the Americans? Are you aware of that?
No.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was.
Jay and the Americans.
Jay and the Americans made that a very popular tune here in the United States.
Jay and Americans.
I think you gentlemen probably would not have chosen that selection had you really known.
See
that.
what happened, Freddie? We got double crossed again.
Tricked again?
That's right. Every time come here in the United States.
Well, what
I do
can you
business
expect
in the
from
United
these
States,
rock
they always
idiots?
double cross you.
Well, Rick Derringer, I think, who's going to
Rick
join us.
Derringer.
He
That's the guy they named the gun after?
No, that's a different one. That's a different
Different
one.
one.
He personally selected that for you, did you not? Did he not?
Yes, he did.
And
Yes, he did.
we might be able. Have you heard Mr. Volkoff sing that?
Oh, he's great. Great voice.
I'm telling you, it's something else. All right. Back with more TNT, and this is the, I think, Freddie Blassie, are you looking forward to this? Are you ready to field some of the questions?
With that audience, I'm able to do the whole crew at one time. Bunch of pencil neck geeks out there. And first thing I want to do, I want to correct this thing over here.
Oh, yeah.
Correct what thing?
Put that pencil neck geek where he
right.
belongs, on the bottom and a streak on top. Look at it. That's it. That's it now. Now continue.
Well, of course, the Iron Sheik at one time was the World Wrestling Federation champion, defeated by Hulk Hogan on an occasion, but perhaps he'll have another opportunity.
Cheated.
We would perhaps like to ask a few questions here, sir. No, not you. I don't think so. But perhaps you would you stand up, please, and give us your name?
Joe.
Joe, whom would you like to ask a question to?
Both Nikolai Volkoff and Freddie Blassie. Nikolai, you said that you smile every time you watch you defeat an American. What about Hulk Hogan a couple weeks ago? You didn't smile then.
He's not smiling now.
No.
Neither is Mr. Blassie. Well, would you like to handle
Did
that?
you see that match?
Yeah, sure.
Where'd you see it? On TV?
Of course.
That was trick photography.
That's right.
That was not the way the match ended.
See that, Freddie? How you can talk people like that?
What a one-sided crew this is.
No, I don't believe so. Partner, you want to stand up and give us your name?
Jason Cohen.
All right, Jason, you have a question for Mr. Blassie or Mr. Volkoff?
Yeah. Why do you wrestle?
Why don't you
in
sit down? Nobody can even understand you.
Don't let him get you upset. Take your time.
Why do you wrestle in America if you don't like it?
Aha. All right, Mr. Volkoff, Mr. Blassie, you're always putting down America. Why do you stay here?
First, we never put American down. Americans do a good job themselves. All right.
All right, but answer the
Very
question.
good,
And the reason I'm here is to show Americans who is really number one.
That's right.
Who is number one?
That's right.
All right, pardon me, sir. Would you stand up and give us your name?
Yes, my name is Wayne Williams.
And perhaps a question?
Yes, Mr. Volkoff, since you like to sing the national anthem before every match, and you're coming out with this new song, Cara Mia, are you considering up giving your wrestling career to become an opera singer or a singer at all?
We're not laughing at you, Mr. Volkoff.
Can you imagine all? We heard the answer.
You heard
don't
the
have to
answer?
repeat it.
I think you heard the question.
We heard the question. We also know the answer.
Oh, all right.
He heard the answer from me. I'd say that big fat slob should sit down in his seat.
All right, now, come on now. Let's
Doesn't know what he's talking about. Ought to go home and take a bath.
Come on now, Mr. Blassie.
Shave that hair off his face. Looks like a house ape.
You want to take care of me?
Oh, no,
Take care of you. Somebody is already, you slob. Sit on
All
your
right,
seat.
come on. Would you answer the question?
What?
The man can do 2 things at one time. He can do 3 things at one time. Can do 4 things at one time.
Do you remember the question, Mr. Blassie?
I heard the question. I'm giving
Do
that
you
pencil
remember
neck
the
geek
question?
the answer.
I beg your pardon?
I'm giving that pencil neck geek the answer.
Which is?
He can buy and sell this guy, a dozen guys like this, with just his walking around money.
Well, to answer the question, based upon reaction that we've had,
I
preliminary
don't pay
reaction,
attention to those guys. I run into this all the time.
I don't think Mr. Volkoff will be giving up his wrestling career. Do you?
Definitely not.
And certainly not to obtain the singing career.
He'll do that. He can combine both.
He can combine both.
He's the
We look forward to
greatest
that,
talent
and we
of
thank
all
you very
time.
much for your questions. We'll be back with more TNT. Stay with us. Nikolai Volkoff and more. Back with more TNT, and Nikolai Volkoff and Freddie Blassie, I think, are still trying to find the answers to some of those questions. But our next guest certainly has, I think, perhaps all the answers. Would you please welcome an individual certainly well known as a legend in his own time? Would you please welcome Bruno Sammartino? You look terrific.
I feel terrific.
Been hitting the iron, running in a.
I've been running 6 to 8 miles 6 days a week, and I hit the iron 5 nights a week.
That's incredible.
I've taken my body weight down to 245, which I never knew that at this lighter body weight I could feel so good. Feel great.
You look great, as a matter of fact, having seen you in the ring not long ago. And
Well,
1,000%. You surprised everyone.
you know, I retired 4 years ago, but I had a bit of a goal. I said I always wanted to prove to everybody that if you live right, you know, you watch what you eat, and no bad habits such as smoking and drinking, stuff like that. And if you really dedicate yourself, I really believe that you could prove to the world that you, in your 40s, and I am in my late 40s, that you could do it as good as ever. And maybe I'm kidding myself, but I intend to prove that.
Well, I don't think you're kidding yourself, and certainly if you fooled anyone, I think you fooled your opponents as of late, getting into the ring and just that windmill style, that the gas is turned on full blast.
Well, I get a kick out of it because some of them figure, hey, how much he got left? You know, he's been out of it for a few years, and he is getting older. And I think that I've shocked a few of them because they have been quite surprised at the condition that
We
I'm
may
in.
surprise you now, because we're going to take you back to a match back in the 70s.
Oh,
Let's take you now to a
boy.
matchup from Madison Square Garden, I believe, against Big Bob Duncombe, a tough dude. There, as a matter of fact, I think Duncombe was one of the toughest individuals, I don't know if you'd agree or not, that you ever faced, Bruno.
He was a big 290-pounder, 295-pounder. He could move so well. There you go. There, you give me a big hip toss. And he was vicious. He could wrestle, but yet at the same time, he was a very vicious guy. And there's no question about it. They were wars when I faced this man.
Take him over there, as a matter of fact, at the reversal, and there, unbelievable strength, as you were always noted for, that tremendous power.
Well, you know, Vince, strength is something you can develop through weight training and that, but some people are fortunate to have been gifted with natural strength. I was one of those lucky people. My strength didn't come just from lifting. I think I was born with natural strength, and that's why today I feel very lucky, because I still have, I think, a considerable amount of strength. I think it's God-given strength.
There, one of the things that certainly hurt you the most in your career, as I recall, was a lot of back damage, Bruno, an extraordinary amount of back damage.
Yes, I broke my back and some vertebrae that I've cracked, and of course, that's why one of the reasons why the long layoff helped me out so much, because I had a chance to completely recuperate from these injuries. So those 4 years, I took a lot of therapy, did proper kind of training, and as a result of it, I think that really did me well, and that's why I think today I feel so fine, because I really had a chance to heal up.
Well, now, in terms of back and other injuries you sustained, but I remember one time you broke your neck, returned to the ring, many thought your career was over there. I mean, is there anything specifically that you've done in order to... Once a legend, always a legend. Is there anything, Bruno, from a physical standpoint, that you've done exceptional to maintain the kind of shape that you're in now? I mean, is there anything it damaged a lot of the back? Did you do a lot of rows to heal the back area? Did you bend over rows or deadlifts, or is there anything, or is it just natural training you've done?
I think that first of all, when you get an injury like that, you have to obey your doctor as far as go through let the process of healing.
You didn't obey that one. You returned to the ring, and he said you could absolutely kill yourself if you returned to the ring.
True, but at the same time, for example, I was taking hours of treatments such as whirlpool treatments, massages, different therapy of different kinds. But then as soon as I started healing a little bit, then I would go into the proper training. I would start off with very light deadlift, and as my back started feeling bad, I would increase till I was doing very heavy. I got up to 700 pounds in deadlifting. I was squatting with 725 pounds, and I was benching for repetition with over 500 pounds. So when you do that, I think that you really reconstruct, should I say, or rebuild whatever damage was done with the masses of muscles that you can build around it. And I think that that's what always helped me to heal and come back as strong as I did. Because when I broke my neck, I was told I'd never wrestle again. A few months later, I was kicking the butts of the man that had broken my neck.
You sure did.
You know.
No doubt of that. I would think also maybe another secret to your success has been, and again, you're talking about the God-given gifts, your recuperative powers. And I think to a certain extent they really are God-given. But you have extraordinary recuperative powers, and many individuals don't. I mean, no matter what kind of shape they're in, once there's damage done, a lot of times that's it. The career's over.
Yeah, some people, everything regenerates much quicker than other people. I don't know the explanation for that. I was very lucky that way, and no question, Vince, that did help me to maintain. That's why I lasted as long as I did, and that's why I was champion as long as I was, because I did face the best, not only throughout the United States, but throughout the world, because I was very lucky that way. So I was luckier than most, what can I tell you?
Well, and again, you work hard at it, you still do, and it obviously shows. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and I intend to show a few people that Bruno is still a force to reckon with.
I look forward to that. All right, Bruno Sammartino will be back with Ricky Steamboat. Stay with us for more TNT. Little fellow in the audience there. Well, in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is known for many things, and certainly, no matter where our next guest is, you will definitely hear him because he carries with him a megaphone. Would you please welcome a gentleman known as the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. I think that perhaps, Alfred, I think that's a good spot for you, away from, based upon everything that's happened.
I got something in store for him too, don't worry.
Are you, Mr. Hart, are you going to behave yourself in terms of Alfred this week?
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's a truce right now, Alfred. I'm telling you, a truce for tonight only. I want you to know that. But what do you think of my new Mega Mouth? What do you think, huh? The Hart Foundation bought me this. You know why they bought me this? Because all the arenas I go to, all these little midgets and all these little kids come up there going, hey, 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 trying to drive me crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So the Hart Foundation, they bought me a new one, and they bought me a more powerful Mega Mouth.
My goodness, that is a big thing, isn't it? You could blast. What would you say to Alfred if he had the opportunity?
What would I really say to I better not say it. I'm not going to say it to Alfred today on the show because I'm afraid I'd probably get canceled, get thrown out of here, and I don't want that to happen. But don't you think this looks great, huh? Yeah. What do they know? What do they know, huh?
Mixed reaction there.
What do they know?
Certainly, Terry Funk. I would think that thus far you're very pleased with the performance of Mr. Funk.
You know, like I said, baby, from the Double Cross Ranch in Texas, the greatest Texan of all time, my bounty hunter, my main man, terrible Terry Funk.
He is terrible at it, as you say, in terms of his actions. I would think. We'll take you now to some videotape footage, and it's Terry Funk against Red Walsh.
Red Walsh. All right, there we have the principals. Red Walsh making his first appearance in the World Wrestling Federation from Ireland. I'm not too sure he knows what he's doing in terms of signing on for this particular matchup with this particular individual, Terry Funk. Wide open Walsh, and Funk lets him have one. Funk with an elbow now. And I think Red Walsh is getting a rather rude awakening, at least thus far, in the World Wrestling Federation.
Well, you know, oh, here he goes, right side the ring. Whoa! Why? Did he go out there? And there goes Funk right after him.
Jimmy Hart laughing. Funk, look at this. Ooh, wow, with a boot to the head.
This Terry Funk, he is some kind of a vicious man. And look at that. Now that's got to drive you nuts. Look at this guy. Jimmy Hart's got to drive you crazy with that.
Walsh now up in the air, and Funk, ooh, wow, with a suplex. Funk can do it all. You have to give him credit for that.
You know, I think if I was wrestling one of the Jimmy Hart's opponents, men, I think I'd have to take a shot at going outside that ring and get that guy.
Well, right now, unfortunately for Mr. Walsh, it appears as though he will not have that ability or the possibility. Is right now, Red Walsh is going nighty-night.
That's it, baby.
That's it.
That's it, Mr. Ref. My goodness. Red Walsh having a sleeper hold applied, and he's gonzo. Now with that branding iron, we will see, no doubt, this man literally branded. This you won't often see, maybe never will see again. Yep, he's branded. Wait a minute. Out at ringside, that's Mel Phillips. That's the young ring attendant.
Yes.
That's the young ring attendant that was beaten unmercifully by Terry Funk for wearing his hat. Look at Funk's going after him. Mel Phillips chasing. Funk's going right after him. Here he goes again. Funk trying to catch Mel. Whoa, baby. Whoa, baby. The Junkyard Dog is right there.
That brought a halt on Terry Funk.
Funk wants to get to the hat, and standing in the way, the 280-pound Junkyard Dog. Look at this. Jimmy Hart is just beside himself. Funk wants, he's issuing a challenge. He wants the Junkyard Dog to get to the ring.
And here it comes.
Oh, no. Funk taking over the Junkyard Dog. Ooh, Funk, headbutt by the dog. Almost got to Mel Phillips. Oh, Funk wants that hat back so bad. Oh, does he want it back? Finally, Mel Phillips throws the hat down to the floor. Standing behind the Junkyard Dog, Jimmy Hart trying to keep Terry Funk from entering the ring. Funk wants to have his way at the Junkyard Dog, and Jimmy Hart warning him against it.
Oh, I guess you people liked that, didn't you? I guess you enjoyed that, didn't you, huh? Well, I didn't like it a bit. You understand that?
Down. You put that.
I'll put it down. But look at these. You know what? I am sick and tired of people interfering in matches. A month ago, so ago, or 6 weeks ago, I was out here in Junkyard Dog. He dumped water all over me, tried to humiliate me. He interferes in our matches. You know what? Like I said, the Junkyard Dog and that little punk he runs around with, a corn dog. Me and Terry Funk, I like to get both them in the ring and have a tag team match, and we'd show them who's really the boss, baby. That's all I got to say. But nobody, I'll tell you one thing, he who laughs will laugh the loudest, and I promise you, before it's all over with, I will have the last laugh on Junkyard Dog and Corn Dog. That's all I gotta say. And you laugh too, and I'll have the last laugh on you too, pal. I'll tell you that.
The branding iron. The branding iron. Give me a break. Why bring that into that's extremely dangerous. Why bring a branding? That's humiliation.
That's right. You just hit the word. It's a humiliation. That's what it definitely is, and that's what we're going to do from now on to everybody. Maybe you too, Lord Alfred. We're going to start branding everybody from now on.
We're going to have to take a commercial break, and after which we're going to have Rick Derringer and Vicky Sue Robinson with us. Stay with us for more TNT.
I'm going to have a nervous breakdown out here. I'm going to have a nervous breakdown over here with these people.
Let me just, we had this out a couple of weeks ago. Let me show you. This is the front and back of the wrestling album, which has just been released, and it is it's a different kind of music, I think, than you've actually ever seen. The video is unbelievable.
And look at this picture right here on the front. Right on the front, right here. There he is. The mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Look at that, baby.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
And there, you do have a cut on the album.
Of course I have. It wouldn't have been an album if it hadn't been for Jimmy Hart. That's why the record company wanted me on the album. They wouldn't even have the rest of these clowns on there, man. What do you hear my cut? When these people hear Jimmy Hart's song, Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield, they'll know who is the best and who's... well, what can I say?
All right, well, if we may introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, two of the outstanding individuals that had a lot to do with this wrestling album, and indeed a very big part of the rock and wrestling connection. Would you please welcome Rick Derringer and Vicky Sue Robinson? We a few minutes ago, kind of rudely so, reminded of "Eat Your Heart Out." That it's on the album here, a single. But let's talk about one that's really grabbing everybody by storm. And you and the Junkyard Dog.
Grab them cakes.
Absolutely, grab them cakes. And this is what do we have here?
This is the 7.5-inch single.
We have everything here though today.
And we have all right. Show them.
This is the.
This is
this
the
will be
record.
the 12. It should be called "Grab Them Ears." Is what it should be called. Because when you hear it, you'll grab your.
Would you please now? You had your turn, and you're on the album.
And see, this is the real mouth.
This is the 12-inch disco version right here.
Right.
That's what it's going to look like.
Dance
Dog
version,
and Vicky.
dance version, right.
Dance version. We'll give this to Vince.
All right, thank you. All right, this is fabulous. Grab Them Cakes is on this album, and I must say, you and the dog really get down.
That was so fun. He is great. He is a fantastic singer. He's the best male singer on the album. I mean, he is incredible.
Roddy Piper's on the album.
Roddy Piper. Well,
I'm on the album.
That's exactly right.
Rick Derringer's on the album.
Tell us a little bit more, Rick, about all the cuts, if you can.
Let me show you some other things
right,
here
good.
today,
Yes,
Vince.
sir.
We have the 45 sleeve for the country single, which is Hillbilly Jim's single.
Don't go messing with a country boy. Yeah.
That'll
Yes,
be
sir.
the 45 sleeve for that. What else do we have here today? We have the 45 sleeve for Land of a Thousand Dances. Show
All right.
everyone.
That's
This is
again. That's the most perhaps unusual
I kind
piece
of
of
like to see
video.
that if I could, Rick. You're passing everything down. If you don't, I'd like to see the 45.
You've seen it all, haven't you?
No, I haven't. This is the first time I've seen it.
Well, then you must not be the star of the album, as you say.
No, I was definitely the star of the album, but I'm so busy running around the country every night that I didn't have time. I went in and did my song and
I
had to
see.
get back over here.
I see.
And we have one more here. This is the. If anybody's interested in the cassette, this is how the
They're
cassette
marketing
comes.
the cassette
Oh,
in
right.
its own cover.
Super.
There's Rick
that's
on the
Roddy
back.
Back there this time. Well, I'm on the back too, Ricky. You see
Where are
there
you?
I am too. If you notice, get a close up of this, guys. If you're awake on the camera here, I'm on the right there on the back of the cover and the front of the cover.
Well, yes, I guess. But then perhaps that means you were the star of the album.
Well, it looks very. And look right here on the very front. What does it say? Singles include. There it is. Jimmy Hart and others. Jimmy Hart and others.
In terms of reception, Rick, I mean, you're real close to this, having produced a lot of this. Do you think that Jimmy Hart is really the most outstanding cut on this album?
Go ahead, tell the truth. Go ahead. Well, there's a lot of good cuts on this record, Vince. You know, in fact, this is one of the most exciting projects I've ever been involved with. This is absolutely the biggest wrestling album I've ever been involved with, and there's a lot of stars on it. There's really a lot of stars.
In terms
on
of
this record.
where would you place him? Say certainly not number one, but Vicky, let me ask you, where would you Where would you place him in
I
terms?
don't know if we have any room for him because there's so many.
Not even
other
any
great-
room?
There's so many other great
Look
songs.
at you. I don't see your picture on there.
Would
this.
last do? First, second, third, or last?
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Rick?
It's one of the great songs on the album.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. It is one of the great songs.
It is one of the great
hey,
songs
Look
on
at
the
you,
record.
Vicky. You're all dressed up with no place to go, and you're talking
Whoa!
about a song maybe.
Whoa! Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Come on, man.
All right, we thank you. If you would please control yourself, we thank you, Vicky Sue, for coming over.
Thank you.
Rick, thanks a whole lot, and we will
It's
be
always a
following this, and we'll hope to have you back because I know we're going to be seeing more of this.
This is exciting. This is exciting. This kind of
We'll be back with more TNT. Stay with us. You lost your Are you, one more chance, are you going to apologize to Vicky Sue and to Rick?
Absolutely, positively not.
Okay, fine, good.
I will not
Here we
apologize.
have, in reference to the wrestling album, this extraordinary athlete is participating in the wrestling album as well. Would you please welcome our next guest, the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat. You were asked to move down a little
You know,
bit.
I guess I'm
wanted to
just, I
stay
guess I'm just hard of hearing because, like I
And you
told
wanted to stay
Vicky,
here, right?
that's right. I want to stay
Why don't
here.
you give me the megaphone and I'll speak very clearly into your ear
Oh,
for you
no,
to
no.
move on down.
This is my megaphone. Nobody touches my megaphone but me.
Is your
It was
name on
given to
this-
me.
Is your name on this chair?
It's on everything here. It's on this chair. It's on this megaphone. It's
you to
on
move
everything.
down.
Please.
What do I have to move down for, Vince? I was out here first. You came second.
You're not going to insult me. You insulted Rick Derringer, Miss Martin. The people out here, either you pick up yourself and move down, I'm going to move it for you.
I love it. I love it. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute here.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. You wouldn't do this if Terry Funk was here. You would not do this if the Hart Foundation was here. And you would not do this if any of
That's
my
all
men
you're
were
doing
here.
is talking, right?
You'll be sorry for this.
Bye.
You'll be
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, well,
I'm sorry.
no,
I'm sorry.
As a matter of fact,
I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. He said he was
I'm
gonna-
sorry, everybody.
as a matter of fact, you did exactly what Alfred really wanted to do.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I wanted you to finish it right off.
Well, I think he took a little leap when he should have. Smart decision. But
You know, I heard him talking earlier, that he was going to get the last laugh, but he wasn't laughing this
no, he wasn't.
when he was making his big exit.
No, he was making a hasty exit.
Yes.
No doubt of that. As many an opponent
He
makes
even
a...
spent some time to talk in the megaphone on the way out.
He's very agile, though, the way he popped over here so quickly.
Yes, he was, wasn't
Well,
he?
he's been doing that for a number of years.
It takes practice, I'm
jumping
sure.
over the rope, getting out of the way, and all that kind of stuff.
All right, let's take you now to some videotape footage of the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat, squaring off against a very large contender. Let's take you now to the footage.
Shaw right away, resorting to more aggressive tactics. Wow. Ooh, head first to the buckle.
Shaw's a tough customer. Look at this.
Ooh, what a right hand that was. Ron Shaw trying to throw his weight around and doing a very good job of it thus far. No scientific skills really displayed by Ron Shaw.
Listen to the people as they get behind Steamboat, trying to give him the little extra. And there he goes.
Shaw now over the Dragon. Steamboat up with a leapfrog. Right back at him, leaps into him. Shaw right back over him. Another leapfrog. Where's this going to end? Catches him. No. Blocks the hip toss. Can't get him over. What's he going to do? That's one way to do it. Gets him to the rope. Whips him to the far side now. Oh, and a drop kick to the chest. Hard drive takedown. The Dragon in control of the big man, Ron Shaw. Finally, But earlier on, he was having some problems.
Well, Shaw, as soon as he came in, he kind of caught Steamboat a little bit off guard, and he stayed on him quite aggressively. But being the great wrestler that he is, great conditioned athlete that he is, he came back, and right now he's got things under control pretty well against Big Shaw.
Shaw threatening gesture with the right hand.
It's one thing when an athlete keeps himself in such great shape as Steamboat, you're surprised how much your body can absorb. Great condition allows you to absorb a lot of punishment, still come back, still plenty of reserves.
Ron Shaw taking over the Steam. Oh my goodness, look at this. Really a tough match for the Dragon. Those right hands, I think, landing in the ear area, at least the side of the head. Steamboat with quite a bit of leverage, surprisingly so, when he was down on the canvas. Now standing back up, trying to set up Ron Shaw. Off the rope, goes downstairs with the elbow. Ooh, wow, and a chop to the head, to the back of the head. Nice maneuver on the part of the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat. Out on the apron, on the top rope, the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat. Flying body press, hooks the leg. 2 and make it 3. All right.
I think some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, we saw you in terms of your training and explaining a lot of the training that you do and how it helps you in your professional wrestling. And we just saw one element of it, though, the resistance type training. I know there's much more, many more factors in terms of your training to cardiovascular and also in terms of your martial arts skills also, which I would think on a daily basis you have to home down.
That's true, Vince, and a lot of the training that I do, I try to incorporate the moves that I do in the ring, the particular holds, the holds and moves that the opponents do on me. I sort of center all that around my weight training. The martial arts come in with a lot of stretching and a lot of practice, although in the ring that gives me a lot of practice too at the same time. But the pressing movements and the pulling movements, all of it will sort of just work together, and hopefully, and it's done very well so far, that it will keep on giving me the victories, let's just say, that I've had in this area. I have been living the life of an athlete and training as one. And I take a lot of pride in my wrestling, my martial arts, and also with my training.
Earlier, we had as one of our guests, Bruno Sammartino, obviously a legend. And
what a man.
And what this man has done for the sport of professional wrestling and for himself, it's absolutely amazing. I think one of his secrets, I mean, you can take the two lives in terms of you and Bruno, and it's almost parallel because it's constant daily, it's maintenance, it's constant training, staying on it, nutrition. I mean, it's just on a daily basis. I mean, you have to live, as you said, you have to live the life.
That's right. You know, you have the biggest investment in the world is yourself. You know, you buy homes, cars, property, but the biggest investment you have is yourself.
And you got to take care of number one.
That's right.
All right, right now we're going to take you to someone that very much appreciates your wrestling skills. His name is Leaping Lanny Poffo.
You see that dragon in the ring? Well, Steamboat is his name. He's karate's gift to wrestling, and will never be the same. His movements are as smooth as glass. He makes a cat look slow. His hands and feet can ruin your life, as his opponents know. If Bruce Lee were alive today, I'm sure he would agree that Ricky Steamboat's #1 in modern history.
All right. Get him out of here, please.
I call Jerry Funk, baby. I call Jerry Funk, and you're in trouble. Don't tell me that right now. I want to do it all right. I know karate too, baby. I can do it all. Let me tell you something, Steamboat. You don't try to humiliate me out here on this
Please get
TV
him out of
show.
here.
I'm not leaving anymore. I'm going to stay right here. I am not leaving, baby. I am not learning work. I call Jerry Funk, and Jerry Funk's going to get a hold of you. I promise you that. You're going to be in trouble. You understand that? Bruce Lee. That was the worst
Just
poem
ignore
I
him.
ever heard in my life.
Ignore
I
him.
guess you wrote it for him to say about you, didn't you, huh?
Would you please leave?
Yeah, I'm not leaving anywhere. Why don't you pose for us, Steamboat? Why don't you pose for us, huh?
Why don't you pose then? And
Let me at the gym. This guy, I'll tell you what, man. You haven't even seen the gym. This
get out of here, please. Thank you very much.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm
the Hart Foundation.
I'm gonna lay down right here. I'm not
Adrian-
going anywhere. I will not go anywhere. I'm gonna stay right here.
I don't think we'll be seeing any more of Mr. Hart. We hope we will not be seeing any more of Mr. Hart, but I would think that you would be looking forward to stepping into the ring with anyone he's associated with.
You know, we said earlier that he got away without having that last laugh, but he came back and he got his last laugh there. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Hart and your foundation, whoever you want to bring against me, if you want to make it a tag team combination, I'm sure I can find somebody to be my partner.
Sure you could.
Gets
No
Nine
doubt about
Hart
it.
and Hart. And they call themselves a foundation. I can make them a permanent foundation someplace in this country.
And I think Mr. Hart would be a part of the permanent foundation. Welcome back to TNT. We'd like to thank our guests, Nikolai Volkoff, Freddie Blassie, Bruno Sammartino, the Dragon Ricky Steamboat, who's sensational as always, and I guess we want to thank Jimmy Hart.
Well, not really, but might as well.
As well as Vicky Sue Robinson and Rick Derringer, who made this possible, this wrestling album so very much possible. And we've seen the shot of the front of it before. We can flip it over and show you that, yes, indeed, there he is back up there again at the very top. Not your friend, but...
no, well, he does have a certain
Jimmy
time.
Hart there, along with Hot Rod himself, Lou Albano in the background, Nikolai Volkoff, who sings Cara Mia. And I think he's very upset now that he has found out that Jay and the Americans made that popular here in the States. In any event, we thank all of our guests for joining us, and we wholeheartedly welcome you to join us again next week when we will have any number of outstanding guests, and who knows what will happen on TNT. Till then, Vince McMahon along with Lord Alfred Hayes saying so long.